Well, we are in. At least I'm in.
Yep, I'm in as well. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the final game of our FFA community tournament that we're going to have on this stream. Today, we're going to be featuring Rhahi, Vaempyress, Adorfield, and Rhahi as our competitors on IO. Philithanic still here with us, helping us understand this map.
This is a low-price map. The only thing that starts high is fuel. We have robots, scavengers, scientists, and elites. You could go scavenger. There is a high medium over here. There are no underground nukes. It is next to enough ice. It is next to a bunch of silicon. So that's definitely a possibility. You do have one of those spots that would be a holy grail for an elite if it were on Mars, a combo iron silicon.
Definitely interesting.
And also next to some basalt, so you could perhaps see that happen. And then there's plenty of spots you could find as robot all over the place. Rhahi's going to take that double iron silicon combo spot, and then Adorfield's going for scavenger.
Yeah, Adorfield founding first there as well. Vaempyress lands as a robot. We'll have to see what Relic ends up deciding on at the end of the day, but I like the spot from Adorfield. I looked at this map. Relic's going to land robot in kind of an annoying position in some ways, but we'll see how it works out for him. He has basalt, he has silicon, he has ice. It should be fine. Also plenty of aluminum not far away. Adorfield, though, I don't understand why he would land on that side of the crater. I was looking at this and I was thinking, I want to be scavenger because of these high fuel prices, these low everything else prices, and the fact that I can play scavenger on IO. So I want to do that. There's also really strong black market. I mean, EMP, power surge, slowdown strike, dynamite. You can't expect more than that, especially with private claim on top. Exactly. So I'm looking at this. I want to be scavenger, but I would have landed over near the ice patch for one thing. I mean, it's not a lot of, there's 4 ice tiles there. You can't get the best adjacency, but you can make it work. So land near the ice patch there. And then you're closer to the aluminum that you need. You're still basically the same distance from the carbon. You're just a little more centralized. There's a geothermal plant right there as well that you can make use of. It would have been absolutely fantastic, quite frankly. So I don't really understand
and you
landing
might have kept
over here.
Relic from founding there and being annoying.
Being annoying and like vaguely in the way, depending on if you want the silicon or whatever. So all he's got access to over here is the basalt, and I really don't know if that's worth it for a scavenger, but I'm wondering if we're going to see Adorfield use it, because it's the only reason I can think of to found on that side of the crater.
Yeah, he's just going to hope that oxygen doesn't get too out of control.
I guess we'll just have to see.
Vaempyress does have the advantage of being away from everybody else.
Yeah, always beneficial, just because they are looking at you less.
Right, because you're more likely to attack people that you can see when you're looking at your own HQ.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Rhahi and Adorfield are both getting the drop on fuel. Adorfield is going into a lot of buildings on HQ1, delaying his upgrade to HQ2 quite a long time.
Okay, now we're HQ2. I don't know if I like that, because fuel was very valuable. You can see how much more money Rhahi's making from it than Adorfield is right now. That's an interesting decision there.
Now, I think in part that's because Adorfield picked up a bribe claim. Yes, he did pick up one bribe claim, but I think that geothermal vent was unnecessary early.
Yeah, and by unnecessary, I think we mean
wrong.
Bad. Just bad. He's going to have 2 of them on HQ2. I mean, we're on IO. Geotherms can be fine, especially because you can eventually pick up geothermal borehole, of course.
If you're close to them, they can be fine.
Yeah, but you're not close to them. And you can put down nuclear plants. And we can see that's the way that Relic went. He's put down nuclear plants. On top of that, Relic didn't found anything he was dead. Adorfield, I believe, did, or at least found it early. And so Relic is now steaming on ahead also to HQ3 because he's actually making money in his power. On top of that, he'll be able to rotate them later on if he wants. I mean, I do not like this opening from Adorfield. I liked his headquarters. I haven't liked literally anything else about it so far.
Yeah. Vaempyress realizing that, wait, I can freeze 1 tile of each of my opponents with 1 black market? I'm going to go for that. Chain, aluminum.
You know, $76 aluminum. I can't fault that. That's a nice hit.
She is, however, a little bit behind Rhahi and Relic
Yeah, it seems to just be behind it in general. Adorfield has pushed to a point where he has no debt, so that's nice at least, making a little money in his power. Can upgrade anytime, is going to go ahead and take it now. Very expensive carbon this game. No big surprise though, considering we were expecting to see those ion collectors, and he put down geotherms.
A little bit of blobbing from Adorfield. I don't like that with both EMPs and power surges on the black market.
And slowdown strikes. I mean,
yeah, and slowdown strikes.
That's all three really strong tools to punish this are in the game, and so I hate that decision. It's another reason that I didn't want to be robot this game as well.
There we
I want
go.
to point out. Yeah, one of them lands because of course it's going to land. Came from Relic this time, but on top of that, like robots in particular, I didn't want to be a robot this game like all the rest of our players ended up as, because they tend toward blobbing, and the black market is set up so well to punish that behavior. So I still think, despite all these things I've said that I don't like about what Adorfield is doing, I think he still has a strong chance later in the game, but he's going to have to cut out this blobbing nonsense that he's been up to. There's no reason for it right now. He's going to have to get aggressive with his black market cooldowns, get something done with them. He has been working on picking up claims, we know. How effective has he been at that? Just one, still just that first one. Rhahi has grabbed 3.
Yeah, Rhahi doing quite well on those return claims, setting herself up for the long game. Now, one thing I want to point out, if you're the last robot to found, if you go straight to the right of the colony, hit that crater right down there, you could found as a scientist, crush a bunch of aluminum, and you have basalt and ice right there. I might have tried that instead of founding as a third robot. But
that would have been an interesting option.
For all that being said, Relic does have the most money as that third robot.
I mean, the most money, but behind on claims.
Behind on claims.
32,000 optimization center. I'd take it. I would take it in a heartbeat. I mean, even with chemicals up at 200 already, we've already got multiple players set up to make chemicals this game. You've already got chemicals online. So yeah, I'm taking that optimization. I probably would push that to 40 personally. That is a nice extra building to pick up with its adjacency, especially. Just need to start using it, Rhahi. Go ahead and click that button.
Yeah, instead she's going to upgrade.
Oh, she still has 30,000. Just use it. Oh boy.
Some possible dangerous upgrades as Adorfield is sitting on $96,000 in cash. Rhahi is safe now. Relic almost safe.
Vaempyress is safe as well. As long as these players are playing this out correctly, they're going to be okay. You can see that the slightly dangerous upgrades were compensated for by both Rhahi and Relic going ahead and picking up a unit of stock, making sure we don't have to deal with any shenanigans.
And there we have my least favorite event and IO. Vaempyress getting the worst of it, has her geotherm blown up. Adorfield's 2 geotherms not hit.
It's all right.
Rhahi, no geotherms to get blown up, and then Relic did lose one of their nuclear plants. That's not a big deal in terms of the power price, but what it is when your Vaempyress and your HQ3 a little bit lagging behind, that's a lot of steel to repair a geotherm.
Yeah, a lot of steel to get that geotherm repaired. Not much iron to get the steel mills back online, of course, so that's nice. But you are correct. Getting that geotherm back up, probably not something that they should actually be doing right now, because you can save that steel. Power's only about 50 at the moment. So honestly, I'm not too concerned about bringing that back online. I'm looking more to get to HQ5 for the time being. Don't worry about the geotherm later. Ah, black market. Let's see it.
On Adorfield, on Relic, and Rhahi by Vaempyress. Vaempyress just wants to make sure that I might be lagging, but all the rest of you, please attack each other.
Yeah, just making sure to get the hits in where the hits are. Man, Adorfield making a ton of cash at this point. A lot of this is going to be the carbon price, honestly. Carbon has been very expensive and shorted as well earlier this game. On top of that, lots of people making chemicals certainly has contributed to that carbon price, trying to take advantage of the laboratories at the foundry / neutral colony. So very, very nice for Adorfield. This is why I wanted to be that scavenger, even with the way he's been playing it out that I haven't liked. It's still going quite well for him.
Yes, it is. Everybody on HQ4 Vaempyress did upgrade just momentarily. There's one problem that I have with Vaempyress's found location. If you go look at her and zoom out, Look how far away that ice is.
Yeah, the ice is not super close to Vaempyress, unfortunately. That is certainly a problem. You always want access to ice when you're on Io. You don't necessarily 100% require it, but you want to be able to get it without too much work, so it is problematic. Yeah,
to go into it when needed, and right now at 155, not needed as a robot, but definitely nice to have it.
All right, I'm wanting to Adorfield. I want to see Adorfield upgrade right now. Buy up that stock, get that upgrade done. I want these players to finish this upgrade right now, because Sulfur Frost on the way in 40 seconds. They want to get those buildings online before that hits. That is going to make it impossible for them to get new development up and running once it's come online.
Could upgrade, Vaempyress could upgrade, but then wouldn't have enough money to build anything. Rhahi could upgrade and build stuff, but instead she's going to go into more patents. Good long-term plays, but it's ignoring the short-term pain that's going to start in 5 seconds from now.
Yeah, this Sulfur Frost is not going to be comfortable. It starts in about 3 seconds here. Geothermal tile. I mean, I guess you can pick that up. It's going to take so long for the robot to fly for the ship to fly the plant out there that you're not going to get hit by the Sulfur Frost that badly. And $179 power. That's kind of a tempting tile at this stage of the game.
Yeah, Vaempyress also should have repaired her first geothermal plant instead of going into a second one.
Yeah. That would have been the correct decision. Go ahead and bring that back online first. 14,000 debt for geotherm. Not too bad, as it turns out. Oh, goodbye Adorfield's geotherm as well. Somebody's trying to make some high power prices.
Vaempyress is doing a really good job making sure these three keep on fighting amongst themselves. And because I don't think she's been hit by a single black market item.
Yep, just off in the corner, not worrying about it.
Now, that being said, Adorfield has a ridiculous amount of money after that these electronics hacks are going through. And he needs to do something with it.
Let's watch this geotherm not do anything. Oh, it's up to 5% now. I'm enjoying watching Rhahi's geotherm not build.
Yeah, that's going to take
Sulfur Frost.
A long time to build.
Long time. Now,
sea debt.
Yeah, she's been there for a while, and even when she was there, took that 14,000 auction. I imagine hoping to pay some of it off with this superconductor nuclear plant. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a friend, and it's not going to get a friend anytime soon, especially because it just got blown up once again.
Slowdown strike on the Sulfur Frost.
With dynamite, yeah, that's just, that building isn't happening for a while.
Rhahi does have a nice plethora of one optimization everywhere.
Yeah, alright, fair enough.
Relic has less optimizations, but more focused. Vaempyress is just starting to think about optimizing.
And Adorfield's got cash.
Adorfield has cash. Adorfield needs to do something with that cash.
Yeah, I don't mind him not upgrading through the Sulfur Frost because it's not going to get anything done anyway. But it is time for him to have been looking at getting something done with this cash. Now that he's been frozen, I kind of wanted to see the upgrade go ahead and come down.
Upgrade, build some new buildings that can actually stay online.
Yeah, this is another downside to where he's found it, of course, is he's not using the basalt, and that just effectively turns the basalt into evil and hated hills, so he's very cramped in here between his crater and his basalt tile, and it's difficult for him to upgrade and find places to put buildings that aren't going to keep getting hit by these EMPs, power surges, and slowdown strikes. Instead, he's just stuck with it. Another shortage on the way. After this, he's going to have to try and eliminate Vaempyress. Or he can upgrade to 5 and have wasted 6 years of all of our lives. I guess that's fine too.
That being said, he still has a lot of cash on hand in his...
He does.
He only needs another 100k to take out Vaempyress?
And not even if he goes ahead and gets some of these buys beforehand. That's what I was saying, is he can look at bringing down Vaempyress.
He's waiting for the hack to go through on the electronics. It'd be nice to kill that hack. especially after all these robots are helping with the price of electronics by upgrading one after another. That's Vaempyress selling. Adorfield's still sitting in it. Adorfield is 94% of the way on. Vaempyress is going to sell out. Come on, start buying into Vaempyress. Vaempyress notices she's in danger.
But, I mean, this is 3 stock picked up at normal price. That is a really big advantage. Now only needs, well, not a whole lot to finish it off from here. About 100,000 more, it looks like, in order to get this done. That said, this is what you get for having to go about it this way rather than getting the whole buy at once. Rhahi picking up 2 in Adorfield. All right, Vaempyress got the 3rd. That's actually a really big deal for Adorfield. If he can manage to bring Vaempyress down, he doesn't need too much more, despite having bought one of his own stock.
Only needs 100k more to go. Yeah. Still has plenty of buildings that are making money.
Yeah, I mean, the electronics factories are still good. Might have been nice to see an optimization center with those, just to get 1 or 2 hits in them. But he's going to just rely on the shortages instead. We'll see how that goes. A little bit less effective now that Relic has plenty of electronics factories online himself. What is this pleasure dome going to be? Not good.
No.
Just not good.
There's only 2 habitats, 3 robots, and a scavenger. It's probably...
Yeah. It might not even be worth the 12,000 that's being spent on it, but the claim could easily be worth that much if you're going to drop, for example, a hacker ray in that tile.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the pleasure dome itself, $86. That's that's not what I'm looking for.
Tile's worth way more than the pleasure dome at this point.
Okay, pleasure dome's gone. That's just fine. Take it back. I mean, Rhahi had nanotech too, so might have made money on that one. But now we're going to see an optimization center, and that's just fine in my opinion.
Slowdown striked and frozen on his farms.
So what happens when you get aggressive?
Fly a little bit more excruciatingly slow, although he is at 87% of the way there.
Yeah, which means he's made about half the progress he needed to since the last time we checked up on it.
And nobody else is anywhere close making a buy on anyone.
Yeah, Rhahi's in the best position, but not even halfway there. Gonna go ahead and secure the rest of her own stock. I like that decision. Just get that done.
Yeah, so Adorfield's going to be in a pretty decent place. Going to pick up 2 more claims in about, I don't know, 2 minutes from now or so. Maybe a bit less.
You know, whenever his stuff is actually back online. These farms are going to be pulling in cash, and they are finally coming online. So, should be pretty solid.
Going to need to be a little bit concerned about his debt once he does get that upgrade.
For sure, sea level of debt, not good, but especially as a scavenger, and in this black market, you want access to that consistently. He has enough cash, finally. Is he going to get it done?
Yep, maybe. Yes, he is.
Yes? Okay. Vaempyress finally falls. However, HQ4, that's not really a great pickup because Vaempyress never got to 5. Now, of course, this subsidiary, very far away from being able to upgrade. It will take the upgrade when it has it, so a very long ways from actually making Adorfield a good amount of money. This could still be an opportunity here for Rhahi and Relic to get work done, taking down Adorfield.
Because they did get a lot of stock from Adorfield, and they do have the split there.
Yeah, a little bit of a split going on. Rhahi's certainly in the dominant place this game. I mean, has all of her own stock bought, same as Relic does, but 4 in Adorfield is a big deal. Adorfield, once again, debt that he is having to fight against. I believe he just paid some down. Not a spot you really want to be in, having to pay down debt. And on top of that, as we discussed earlier, Adorfield only has these 2 blobs of production buildings, very easy to consistently get aggressive against with these power surges, EMPs, and slowdown strikes. The power surges, quite pricey now.
Yeah, okay, Rhahi's moving into a space elevator, and let me point out something right now. The space elevator cost, when it went up, 80k in glass. I was watching right before it got purchased. Transparent aluminum costs 11k to research.
Yeah, that might have been a nice one to pick up before you
She did 4 patents and then didn't get transparent aluminum.
I mean, that said, 60k launches.
Yeah, 60k launches, but you know that's going to be attacked. There are cheap dynamites.
Cheap dynamite. Slowdown strikes as well, so you cannot defend against the slowdown strikes that's going to come down. I think if you're going to make this move, you're exactly right. Transparent aluminum, you want to pick that up, and also thinking machines. It's just, those are the standard combos on Io. When you're going after these space elevators, almost certainly would have been well worth it to pick those up, as she has already lost an entire launch effectively from getting hit by this slowdown strike without thinking machines.
That said, she will take 2 launches or so before she's able to pick up and clean up Adorfield, so Relic is going to start buying into Rhahi now, which is when you want to do it if you are Relic.
Yeah, just go ahead and get it done before Rhahi's price goes too high. It's a good move. It's a good move. I appreciate that, Adorfield.
Also thinking of maybe going into a space elevator yourself and chasing those 64k launches.
Yeah, it's an option, and it's still a good option with the patents that are available on the board. Relic's optimization centers.
Relic, you need to buy these before Adorfield. Well, Adorfield's not going to get another one back in. He's just stalled out completely, but Relic needs to use some of that huge cash pile that he has and buy up the rest of Rhahi before Rhahi makes the buy. There you go.
All right, Rhahi has wisely also switched her focus to Relic rather than Adorfield, knowing that Adorfield is out of it and is not going to be able to do anything. Wow, Adorfield just being literally as much of a pain as he can, which isn't much of one. But that sell out of Rhahi's stock definitely just, it's going to hurt a little bit. It's a little annoying. It's a lot harder to do.
You have enough money to buy another pip. Do it.
Get it.
Do it now.
Get it done.
You have enough money to buy all of the pips.
Yeah,
and you should have.
Needed to get that done. Needed to get that done because look at that price difference now. I think Rhahi was hanging out at what, about 50 beforehand, and now 81. So that's an extra $60,000 that's going to have to be paid for those 3 pips. There's not a small amount of cash we're talking about. Almost 200,000 more expensive at this point. That's a big deal. 200,000 can make or break a game easily.
Yes, it can, especially when you have a highly competitive match like we've had in these tournaments.
Yeah, part of this, interestingly enough, Relic has been sitting on like a stockpile of 450 food for a long time, and food is on the way down.
Yeah, always sell out of food, out of an item when the price is decreasing, stockpile it when the price is increasing.
Yep, pretty much that straightforward. And I feel like if we had seen
95 to 90.
some more, if we had seen more movement out of Relic this time, I think he would have potentially been in a good spot to go ahead and take this, but at this point, Rhahi's just so much closer to the buy. Cash is pretty close to even. The space elevator is getting work done. And Relic doesn't have any friends left.
Making 1,300 a second off of her subs.
And almost as much off the space elevator. I mean, you know, just that one tile getting some serious work done. Kind of an important detail. And if we just look at Relic's territory, he's making some money. I mean, these are decent tiles, over 100 for a lot of them. That's great, but it just does not compare to what Rhahi has going on, especially with the subsidiaries. So it looks like Adorfield, he got to that buy, but didn't do a great job of getting around to it. And eventually the positioning and the founding coming back to bite him, Rhahi cleans him up, and with that, sets herself up in a great position to go ahead and take out this game. I don't even know if we're going to have time for this space elevator to launch again.
No, so look at the difference. Rhahi's optimizations and Adorfield's optimizations.
Well, Adorfield has none.
Yep.
So that's kind of a big deal, as it turns out, once you get to this phase of the game on IO.
And Rhahi has a lot.
A lot. Yeah, a lot is one way to put it.
They might not be in the best spots. You could argue some quibbles here and there, but it doesn't matter, as she does get that red buy button. And it takes another game for Boosted Pleasure Domes.
Very nice for Boosted Pleasure Domes. Every last win you get, just one step closer to actually securing this one. So Rhahi picks up a game. Kanto did pick up that other game for Boosted Pleasure Domes, which means they went from 3 wins to 5 in those 2 games. Very nice. We'll have to see how the rest of these have played out. doesn't look like we have results for those just yet. So
no, but we can. I think we covered
around
the most of this game. I just looking around and seeing what's what, if there's any sort of missing threads that we haven't fully identified or covered. I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, Rhahi's investments in patents, Rhahi's investments in optimization centers, Adorfield taking too long in the buy, not having any of that late game optimizations to back themselves up is what decided the difference between Adorfield and Rhahi in that respect. And then, of course, Rhahi and Relic getting a nice early buy into Adorfield before Adorfield picked up Vaempyress, which did not happen with Relic going into Rhahi.